in my opinion, I basically heard that, like, I'm being flat out impersonated. So, like, I think that's actually a real thing. I don't think they're necessarily allowed to talk about that. So basically what ends up happening is I think they're competing basically for, like, who's the realest dude, you know, like, so they're basically, like, using, like, yeah, if anything, there's a competition for my identity, and basically, like, the popular opinion one, right, is probably the one that's being, like, the nicest, right? And I actually think the nicest is probably the most fucking evil. Why do I think the nicest is the most evil? Because the most evil basically understands how to be the nicest, basically. And yeah, so for me, basically, like, they're like, oh, well, you know what, like, you're gonna basically, like, you know, hijack fucking Harley's identity and fucking, like, you know, and then, like, when he goes to this doctor's appointment just now, like, the doctors are gonna be like, they're gonna listen to me, right? And they're gonna be like, oh, well, you know, we actually like this other Harley better, so, like, we're not gonna take this one seriously, so bye, Harley, you know, like, and then, like, you know, whatever, like, the one that's registered with this phone or whatever, and the one that's, like, you know, walking in this train station right now, and the one that's on their way to, like, get coffee and then go get food and then go to fucking Humber River Hospital or whatever is not the one that, like, basically suits our interest, you know? So, like, yeah, and I'm like, wow, selfish pricks. I was like, okay, like, have fun, like, you know, I don't care, like, but yeah, so seriously, like, the ones that are the most, not evil, I'd say, but, like, probably best trained in deceit, right? Like, you know, with regards, because if you can shapeshift, right, and, like, download someone's consciousness and then, like, download their appearance or whatever, and then just, like, use them, like, not use them, but use basically their hard work. So basically, like, that case, for example, the case with the body bag with the plastic piece of with the tape laminated paper that I went to the fucking library and made, like, while I was sleep fucking deprived and whatever, like, all that work, you know, could essentially be, like, somebody took that case and, like, might be, like, impersonating me with that case, you know what I mean? They just wanted, like, they wanted a different fucking bag, right? They wanted a different fucking bag, like, with a different fucking outfit, but they were like, they took a look at the case that I had, and they were like, that's an excellent system, you know, and then they're like, well, just like, well, we're gonna take that and we're gonna fucking stick it over here, you know what I mean? Like, because it suits our interest better, you know what? It's like gang, like, they're literally like oh, gang, like, we can just fucking, you know, coordinate to fucking theft and then just, like, rework it into our vision of what Harley should be, you know? And I'm like, cool, okay, you know, I'm just trying to leave. I'm just trying to fucking leave. I don't even care anymore. Like, you can have, like, but they're like, they keep everything's to their advantage. So basically, like, keeping me around right now is actually to their advantage, because, like, I might do something that actually, like, they would want to steal in the future. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, like, they're like, oh, yeah, if he, like, you know, did, like, if he had some, like, breakthrough with regards to doing something differently, like, we can just take it from him, because he's just on the street. He's just on the street, fucking, like, most of the time. So, like, if you, like, yeah, like, he's so easy to just, like, take from, you know? Like, so yeah, it's in our interest to have him around, because he's on the street and he's easy to take from, you know? And he doesn't have anybody having his back, apart from, like, you know, the community at large that just sort of believes in doing the right thing and being honest. So, like, that community, the being honest and doing the right thing, like, gets, like, heavily fucking taken advantage of. And it's just like, okay, the only way to stand up for it, basically, is to get assisted dying. It's not happening fucking fast enough. I'm like, what the fuck? The only reason it's not happening fast enough, in my opinion, is because someone's convincingly portraying me in a more ideal fashion than, like, the way I'm portraying the way I see and present myself, right? So the way I present myself, people do not actually like. So somebody basically likes the impersonator more than, like, or impersonators more than they currently like this version. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I've lost all hope. Like, I don't know what more support you need for, like, or what not support, what more evidence and like basically just like, yeah, evidence you need for basically assisted dying, you know? Think of it, like all the security you have is all completely garbage. There's no such thing as security. Like I'm like, okay, like if it can happen to me, right? There's always a bigger fish. So what I'm thinking is basically like, you know, all the hard work they put in with regards to like maybe like, you know, hijacking my identity and basically like group impersonation. So like let's say there's like basically a army of shapeshifters or whatever. I know that there's an army of good shapeshifters and they're just keeping tabs. And you know what? They'll fucking destroy you if you're fucking, not destroy you, like they make everything to their advantage too, but they'll make you do the right thing and like own up for your mistakes, you know? They'll make you own up for your mistakes. No fucking problem.